You know, if I had to rate wrestling this year, I thought about this and what would I give wrestling as a whole this year? Not just separating company from company, but as a whole industry, as a whole business, as a whole sport. What would I give wrestling this year, really, as a grade overall average? Personally, I'm sure other people have said this, and I've talked to people. I give it an A. And there's many reasons you could give wrestling an A. There's a lot of moments this year that have happened, good, bad, from several different companies. And I thought about this video about what would I think about the year in wrestling, because yeah, it's a Monday and I could go do a Monday Night Raw review, which will probably come the day tomorrow, because I'll probably be doing something later on. Then worry about Raw, because honestly there's a bunch of bullshit probably on that show by the time this video is uploaded, and it'll be the same thing with Monday Night Raw, whatever year it is. It's for the same shit. It is probably one of the worst ones, but I'm gonna get into more of that later on. But as for Monday Night, like I said, Monday Night Raw, I'll probably review it tonight or tomorrow, or if I feel like like I said, what is it, New Year's Eve day, whatever, last one of the year, whatever, whoever cares. But what would I give wrestling out of the entire year? Like I said, I give it an A. And there's many things and many companies that have done a lot throughout the year, I should say. From WWE, I know NXT is part of WWE, but I almost put them in their own separate entity when you think about it. From Impact Wrestling to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, hell, I even put MLW. They've been making some moves this year. Even the NWA to an extent. And the independent scene. The independent scene has just been hot. Okay, they have been hot all around the board. You look at the British independent scene; they've had a very big year this year. I know WWE's been trying to cash in on that opportunity. Now that's why I really do believe why they made that NXT UK is because they just wanted a piece of the pie, because the UK over there were getting too hot on the indie scene and selling out a lot of big things. WWE wanted a piece of pie, so they wanted to start taking talent from over there. But when you look at independent shows and stuff like All In and everything, it was a lot of big things you could count from wrestling this year, okay? Because if I had to count, the strongest things from wrestling would be either NXT or New Japan Pro Wrestling. And there's many matches. And, I could go on a whole list of talking about the matches of the year, my top 10 or whatever top. But, I'm just probably going to go to random order of what I thought was some of the great, biggest matches from any company this year when you think about it. I can go all the way back from January, from Jericho and Omega, or Naito versus, Okada. I know people feel a lot about Naito should have won the belt this year. I really do believe Naito should have won, okay? Naito really should have won that belt, but I know people tell me it's a lot of long-term booking in New Japan, but I still believe this year Wrestle Kingdom was his time, though. But when you talk about the match of the year or wrestler of the year or anything, first off, there's no and to be honest, I would put this at the top of the list for being the match of the year right now. Like I said, I was gonna go in going in any order on the list, but if you had to vote, a lot of people are gonna tell you that Okada and Omega, number 4 at Dominion this year back in June, tore the house down. That 2 out of 3 falls over 60-something minute match was insane. It was incredible. I've said that many months, or I got 6 months ago back in June, it was the match of the year, and I still really believe that way. It is still a match of the fucking year, okay? You can't, it's really hard to beat that. And there's a lot of top matches that come even contention into that. There are, and some even close. But what Okada and Omega did back at Dominion was just incredible. It was insane. It was pure wrestling excellence when you look at it. It's just one of the greatest matches. Some say it's the greatest match of all time. A lot of people will go on a limb and tell you it is one of the greatest matches you will ever see in the history of professional wrestling. I don't know, and that's a very debatable thing, but if I had to say that was the match of the year, I can't say you're not lying when you say that. They tore the freaking house down back in, Dominion, and, Omega finally won the big one. Omega finally won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And there's a lot of things you can go ahead. New Japan's had a hell of a year, okay? Like I said before, New Japan, they have been killing it with match quality this year. Like I said, from Wrestle Kingdom to Dominion, even Jericho versus Naito. I know as many people feel a lot of ways about Jericho's, how he's been holding that Intercontinental title but popping in and out. but you can go from the U.S. shows, from the Golden Lovers reforming, or the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks back at Strong Style Evolve back in March. Hell of a fucking match. I would put in match of the year. Kenny has just been killing it all year, if you ask me. From the excellence of the G1. Listen, there's so many matches in the G1 I can name. I would not have time for that. From Okada versus Tanahashi, or Omega versus Sonata, or Naito and Sonata, or it's many things you could count. It's many things, honestly, you can count from the G1. G1 killed it. The Best of the Super Juniors killed it. Hiromu Takahashi winning the Best of the Super Juniors. Even once again going on to Dominion, putting on another great match with Will Ospreay to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Very big moment for him this year. You know, it's a shame what happened to him back at was it Strong Style? Not Strong Style Evolve, but the G1 special in San Francisco. We all know about the match with Dragon Lee. It's unfortunate what happened with his neck. You know, he put on a great match with Taiji Ishimori before they even win this whole G1, not G1, but the whole Best of the Super Juniors. But it's a shame that his push is on hold, and we don't know when Takahashi's coming back. We don't know when Time Bomb, if he will wrestle. I know there's been reports saying he may never wrestle again because of his neck, because of the whole Phoenix Plex by Dragon Lee. And it was a great match, and you know he still finished it and everything. But it is a shame that you know, he had to unfortunately give up the championship, and you know LIJ's down one member right now. But you know, Los Ingobernables de Japón did put Shingo Takagi in until Time Bomb comes back, so hopefully he will be back soon. But there's many other matches you can name, from Minoru Suzuki versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, or the Fatal 4-Way back at Wrestle Kingdom. I almost forgot about this one. It's the one between Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, Time Bomb, and Kushida. That was a very great Fatal 4-Way. Go back and look that up. Ospreay versus Marty Scurll. Multiple matches, but the one when Ospreay landed on his head was brutal to watch, but he still finished that match strong. Ospreay versus I know I'm naming a lot of New Japan matches right now, but New Japan was really killing it this year. Okay, as many. I know it's a lot random, but these are really top matches throughout the year of New Japan. A lot of moments going down. The whole, well, I should say Bullet Club Civil War, but they really never really kind of went into anything because the Elite wanted to do their own thing. So that whole Bullet Club Civil War with Bullet Club OG and Bullet Club Elite never really kind of went on anywhere, especially after the whole G1 San Francisco. It looked like it was going somewhere, but it didn't. So that was unfortunate. The Golden Lovers versus Will Ospreay and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and that was like about a week or two ago. And I recommend anybody looking up that match, if you want, please do, because that was a very great match. Kota Ibushi versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. At the go back to the G1 again. Tanahashi win the G1, proving himself that he's still one of the aces of the ace of New Japan. He still wants to prove himself to be. I know Wrestle Kingdom's coming up in a few days and everything, but that'll be safe for a separate video if I do a prediction video on that. But I'm just naming some matches that, you know, New Japan has put on throughout the year. Like I said, they've been in the U.S. a couple times. From, like I said, Strong Style Evolve, the G1 Supercard, not Supercard, but you know, the G1 special, even Fighting Spirit Unleashed. I know it wasn't the greatest crowd that, you know, sold out, but it was still a very lively crowd out there. I think they went in the U.S. maybe 3 or 4 times, but you know, I'm just trying to go through separate sections when it comes to wrestling, you know, from different companies, to why I think they had a very stellar out year. So New Japan has really been killing it this year. They really have, and I may have forgotten some matches here and there, but like, please correct me if I've forgotten them. Like I said, I'm sure there's more matches from Dominion. Maybe the Young Bucks win the titles, or I think LIJ had a lot of gold this year. Jay White even having a breakout year when you think about it. Like, they've been really pushing Jay White over there. Jay White, he has proved, they've proved him to be an MVP. Like, him, the whole turn on, you know, the Chaos Diffusion, and now this whole Bullet Club, him being the leader now, and Okada versus Jay White right now, and causing chaos everywhere. Like, come on, they had Jay White go over Okada and Tanahashi in the G1. Think about that there, people. They had Jay White on a freaking roll, okay? They really did. The World Tag League, the Super Junior Tag League, Bullet Club members. Like I said, I know I'm going random when I'm really trying to find out like one of the biggest moments in New Japan. I know New Japan has a video package up, highlighting all the great stuff that has happened. Please look that up if you would like to. Just it's really great video package to recap the year. But, you know, moving on from New Japan, NXT, like I said, a very great year from them. And there's many matches you can name for the con. They outdid WrestleMania, okay? And I'll get to compare them with, you know, New Japan for a quick second. But when you look at the stuff NXT has had going on, what do we have to, come on, where do I start? NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the, Gargano versus Black, I'm not Gargano versus Black, but Gargano versus Ciampa, the whole freaking trilogy from New Orleans to the Chicago street fight. I wish I should have showed up back in the summer. I really should have now. That one, the one in Brooklyn, just a huge flow of matches with those two. Come on, they've been main eventing pretty much all the freaking takeovers ever since. They really have, okay? They have main evented most of these takeovers, and they didn't even have the title. It was just that big of a feud. But the one in New Orleans is probably one of my favorite ones. That went nuts for that. And, you know, Chicago comes to a close second too. I would have had probably more fun if I was there, but the first one in New Orleans was big. The 6-way ladder match for the North American Championship: Adam Cole, Ricochet, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, EC3, and Velveteen Dream was a big one. Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa for the championship. Tommaso Ciampa versus Black back in NXT. That was even on a takeover for the title. Gargano versus Almas. That match was insane. Look that match up. Takeover, was it Philly if I'm correct? Yeah, TakeOver Philadelphia back in January. Once again, that's another match of the year category. That was one of my favorite matches throughout the year with Almas and Gargano. Freaking big. Black winning the title from Gargano back in New Orleans. I keep saying Gargano. Black winning the title from Almas in New Orleans when he actually had the championship was a big match too. Like NXT, they have killed it throughout this entire year. And I've said it before, okay? Because number one, WrestleMania sucked this year, okay? WrestleMania 34 was not a good pay-per-view. NXT TakeOver New Orleans, that was the real WrestleMania. Wrestle Kingdom 12, that was the real WrestleMania there, folks. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again, okay? WrestleMania was not good. NXT is just been killing it, alright? And look at the people they have down there from the Undisputed Era. Like I said, Adam Cole, Red Dragon, Roderick Strong, from Ricochet to Gargano to Ciampa to Black to Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, I think Toni Storm, and Baszler's had a big year too. Come on, the matches with Kairi Sane have been pretty big. Her winning the title from Ember Moon. NXT TakeOver War Games 2. The War Games match. That whole show was freaking great, and that was just a month ago. Come on, War Machine, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era? Please. And that's why they come to Chicago next year. I'm going to that show. Now, I will say one thing. I hope I'm going to that show in November next year. That's one I want to go to, is the next TakeOver War Games 3. That's a really big pay-per-view I want to go to. Because they put on some great matches out there. And I already talked about the Velveteen Dream and Tommaso Ciampa killing it. But like I said, NXT and New Japan, they have killed it this year. And it's like I said, it's just a slew of matches you can name from these takeover events. Like I said, you can go from New Orleans, you can go from Brooklyn to Chi-Town to Philadelphia, LA back in War Games. There's a lot of them, and they outdo the main shows half the time. That's the crazy part. They outdo the big four when you look at it. So it's like people always say, like, SummerSlam is canceled, WrestleMania is canceled, because can they really top what NXT does half the time? Can they? It's the only thing I just don't like from it is when we bring these NXT guys up, they end up burying a lot of these guys on the main roster and stuff. So I just wanted to talk about a lot of big highlights from NXT and New Japan. Another thing I should say also was a big year in wrestling was the resurgence of Impact Wrestling, actually putting on a better product this year, I should say, finally digging itself from the gutters. Listen, they were in a very horrible spot last year with the rebranding going on and the entire bullshit with Jeff Jarrett and his Global Force Wrestling thing. But since that with Global Force pretty much failed, and unfortunately we lost a lot of good talent, because you can blame Jarrett and them for that, and ruining the show even more. Just debacle last year was going on. There was a light though when they got rid of him, with Anthem hiring Don Callis and everything. I know him and Scott D'Amore. Don Callis has done a phenomenal job, and I know I talked about this in my last Impact review about the year Impact has had. And don't get me wrong, they've had some bad things going on too, but they've had a lot of good this year. People actually cared about Impact Wrestling this year. They weren't a laughing stock. They weren't a joke. They were actually putting on some great matches. They were actually having a great product and everything. I know it sucks for the ratings and everything because we don't have the right channel for it, and people do watch the show. They just gotta watch on the internet a lot because everyone doesn't have Pop TV. And I know a lot of people aren't really gonna have that Pursuit channel also when they move to their new channel in the next few weeks, since they have a new channel and time slot going on. But Impact has really proved themselves to put a lot on. Number one, Austin Aries being back in Impact Wrestling. Yes, he had the title. I know some people thought they hot-shotted it, but once he turned heel, he put on some great matches with people. He put on some very great matches with people, from Eli Drake to Moose to Johnny Impact, even putting out a very great one with Falaba out there. Just a lot. Slammiversary was a very great pay-per-view. Okay, some say it was the pay-per-view of the year, to what I hear from some people. That Slammiversary was that great and so big that people loved what was going on. People actually cared about Impact. Aries and Moose, very great main event. Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan in that freaking street fight. That match was batshit crazy. That's like, once again, that's a match of the year category right there. You could throw that one in the hat too. Like I said, I'm just putting these matches, like, there's a lot of match of the year matches you could put in those categories right now. There's a lot of contenders, and that is one of them. Callahan and Pentagon killed that shit. Look it up. If you don't believe me, watch that match from Slammiversary. Slammiversary was a great pay-per-view. LAX versus the OGs in that, not the Concrete Jungle one from Bound for Glory, but I think it was just the street fight one back at Slammiversary in Toronto. That was great. LAX, come on, LAX alone is just big. I know they don't have a lot of tag teams right there, but the feuds LAX are just great. The whole vignettes they do, the whole cinematic thing with Conan is great. Conan as a talker is just awesome. The match with, Homicide and Hernandez, big. I know the Concrete Jungle one, which was really an unsafe match, because, come on, you see the holes in the floorboard. Somebody really could have got hurt, but they still pulled that off to be great. But LAX, let alone, that's the best tag team they really got down there and stuff, okay? But what else could you name from there? Like I said, from Austin Aries, and I know it isn't the best. Aries was great throughout the entire year until the whole thing with Bound for Glory and Johnny Impact. I just really still don't know if that's a work in that, but I swear to God, that mostly came off like a shoot with just him no-selling the main event and just walking out, and we never really saw him again after that. I don't know if we'll see him at Homecoming either, but even with him walking out, he still proved, and he really did. And to be honest, Austin Aries did a lot. He brought this company on his back on the map again. When you think about it, like, he is one of the reasons why people actually cared again, and they were actually putting on a great product and stuff. But with a lot of new talent, and I know there's a lot of Lucha Underground talent coming through, they've proven themselves to be great on Impact. From debuts like Killer Cross on there, which has been, I must say, have been great with the feud that's going on right now. From people to Brian Cage, Scarlett Bordeaux, who else they have? Rich Swann, Phoenix, Matt Sydal, I'm trying to go on from here. Eddie Edwards, like I said, Moose. Heel Moose is great. Face Moose sucked. He sucked. Heel Moose with Austin Aries, awesome. Great. I love it. It's not bad at all. Who else have you had that's been putting on, putting a lot of, fire on Impact lately? Tessa Blanchard, freaking star out there, I tell you. The matches she's put on proved herself to be big. Great. Champion right now, awesome. Even at All In, I saw it. Won that fatal 4-way, she's that great, okay? I know people want to see her in WWE, but I think that she was in WWE. She was in that Mae Young Classic, but I don't know, it was attitude problems or something why they got rid of her, why they didn't sign her to WWE. Like, there was something behind why they did not sign her. And, Impact, they did a good job, and they've really done well with Tessa Blanchard. They really have. They have put her in a great spotlight. She is like one of the biggest stars on there, even in just women's wrestling in general. She has had a hell of a year this year, and you can't doubt that, okay? You got to put her in the top of that list too, all right? Not just like Impact, but just wrestling in general. But like I said, from Tessa Blanchard, Taya, what else is Impact? Like I said, Impact's put a lot of good on this year. They really have. They really kind of brought themselves back from the gutter and put themselves in a, in a good position with people. And now laughing stock. Yes, there was some losses like EC3 and Bobby Lashley, which you can kind of blame on the last regime, well, mostly because of contracts, and they just didn't know how to book them. And it's a shame that they lost them, those guys, but in a way they somewhat resurged themselves in a way too. So they have done a lot of, like I said, they've done a lot of good this year. Is there some bad? Yes, there is some bad going on. Like I said, from the losses from people. One thing I would say was a very negative spot on Impact Wrestling was Alberto El Patron, which is, I should say, good and bad thing on Impact's part. The first problem was you signed this guy. That was the first problem. He could not be trusted, and he's just toxic, okay? And then he no-showed the Impact versus Lucha Underground thing during WrestleMania weekend, which his whole story is just very convoluted and fucked up when you think about it. Some people say he was drunk, or he just made up some lies saying he had to go worry about his family, but you could have went to Ed Norholm and them and told them something, and they probably would have let you go on and do it, but you just no-showed, and you just didn't really care what was going on. And they really should have thought about this when he got in trouble the first time with Paige and the whole title situation. They stripped him of the belt, but him just walking out, like, the guy's toxic. He should never been dealt with in the begin with, and Impact did make a very great call by getting rid of him as soon as possible, because he was supposed to main event with Austin Aries with that Redemption pay-per-view back in April, but they turned chicken shit into chicken salad when you want to think about it, okay? From that match, you had a great match with Pentagon, Phoenix, and Austin Aries. Yes, it was a triple threat back at Redemption. There was another triple threat back at the Redemption pay-per-view, and they put on a great match. Pentagon won the title. I know people are going to talk about Pentagon's title reign was not good, but it was still a great freaking match in general, okay, between those three. So you made something bad and you turned something good. But hopefully they don't ever deal with Alberto El Patron again, because you just can't trust him. Guy's just too toxic, and now I don't know that. Still wants back in WWE, which, his whole run. Come on, they put the title on that dipshit, for God's sakes, okay? They put the title on him. So, like I said, one good thing was getting rid of him. I know, like I said, it's a lot of things that have gone on with Impact Wrestling this year. There's a lot of great matches. A lot of good things going on, actually in a better light nowadays. A lot of the Twitch thing has been working out really well for them. I hope I'm really sure Homecoming is really going to be a great pay-per-view. I hope they have a very great year in 2019, okay? Because like I said, they brought themselves back from the gutter, and they put themselves back in a good position right now. Just keep the momentum going and keep some good stuff going on. Yeah, there's some bad, and there's still a lot of problems that still need to be fixed. But overall, I believe they've had a really good year in bringing themselves and, resurging themselves back into something really good. But what other companies can I talk about right now? Ring of Honor, I would say, has had a good year. Number one, them in New Japan have sold out the Garden. I will give them that. I know that's until WrestleMania weekend in April. But I will give them credit. They did sell out the Garden. Ring of Honor has had some really great matches going on, from the Young Bucks and the Briscoes. Briscoes having a big year. I would go all the way back to the Supercard of Honor with Kenny Omega and Cody. Like I said, Kenny's just had so many freaking match of the year categories. It's hard to name on. Kenny's just been killing it. Same with Cody too. The whole Kenny versus Cody story with this whole who's the leader of the Bullet Club with Team Kenny and Team Cody going on. What else? Like Rick Von, like Dalton Castle did have the title for a good minute. Jay Lethal actually won the title again. I know it was because of Dalton Castle, because of his injuries, but Jay Lethal still remains the current champion right now. Still, like I said, the guy still retained the title, and he's still putting on some great matches out there too. I know Ring of Honor has been bringing a lot of new people in. We have seen the departure of the Elite, as of the Young Bucks and the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page are done with Ring of Honor. Marty Scurll is still there, and he now has PCO, and Brody King is part of Villain Enterprises now. I'm sure he's trying to find a lot from Ring of Honor to what else they had going on and stuff. So I'm really trying to find it. But like I said, from SCU to Bullet Club to the Briscoes, I would say Sumi Sakai winning the title was a good moment for her. They've really been trying to do the Women of Honor thing well. I will give them that. They've been really trying their best on that. Who's the TV champion? Jeff Cobb being there right now has been pretty good so far. It hasn't been long, but he's been doing good. Especially, Punishment Martinez dropping the title for him and then going WWE, which I swear WWE's just taking a lot of these Ring of Honor guys left and right. So I'll give I don't know what to say about that, but I'll get into WWE later on through this. But I would say Ring of Honor's had a pretty good year, though. I try to watch it. I do watch the pay-per-views and stuff, but I may not have a lot of detail to what's, kind of, the best things you could count from Ring of Honor, unless someone wants to recap it for me, if you like. Another thing I will say, which you have to review in wrestling, MLW, and I don't watch a lot of MLW, and maybe I should have went to that show they had in Chicago, but say what you want about MLW, they've been making some moves out here. I don't know the channel being sports. I don't really think I even have the channel being sports, okay? But MLW, they've been making a lot of moves. I know they've been scrambling in the past few weeks because of people departing from the show and multiple injuries that they've been changing a lot. But I've seen stuff they did with Shane Strickland, Pentagon, Phoenix, Low Key, Selena Deretna, Conan, Tom Lawler, which I'm looking more and more like the guy's really good. I'm seeing a lot from him. Simon Gotch, ACH, but I think he's signed with WWE now. PCO, but he's with Ring of Honor now. What else? They've been doing some good. The Battle Riot shows, the War Games shows, Tommy Dreamer, John Hennigan, or Impact, or whatever. Johnny 8 names, if you want to call him, whatever. Who else was in that? There was a lot of people in that War Games match, but MLW's been making some moves out here. I don't watch a lot of it, but I have been reading up on them, and they've been doing a lot of good things. Okay, I will give them that. They've been putting on a lot of good things right now. What else has been going on, I should say, in the year of wrestling? The NWA, I know they had the 70th anniversary show, which I know the audio, and there's a lot of botches during that show, but they still did put on a pretty good show. I know Billy Corgan's doing his best out there, and yes, the NWA Championship was on the line with, Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis, Magnus, whatever you want to call him, back at All In. I was there to see that match, so they still put on a very great match. Back at All In and the whole 70th anniversary thing. Aldis got the title right back, though, so some people think it was just to pop the crowd back in Chicago, though, when you think about it. But what else could I name from this? Like I said, the NWA, I know they have the women's champion is Jazz right now. I know the Mac, which I said the Mac's had a pretty good year, too, so I will give him that. He does have that their North American Championship right now for the NWA. The Mac, and I know Mac's been making some moves in it. Mac's been making a lot of moves everywhere, okay? Ever since Lucha Underground, I've seen the guy in Ring of Honor put on a really good match against Cody Rhodes. Him being on Impact right now. Him, like I said, being on having that NWA title right now. I see big things for the Mac coming up, alright? I really do. Now, as for Lucha Underground, I don't even know if Lucha Underground's gonna have another season, to be honest, because season 4 had a lot of things they had to, fix around. With a lot of talent being gone, either gone to WWE or different companies, they did what they could. I know they had to tape a lot of things and stuff. Pentagon was a strong champion down there. I did watch Lucha Underground and what they had. I don't know if it will be another year. I don't know if it will be another season in that. But you could tell they were really on a fixed budget compared to the past 3 seasons. Look where they were in the production and how they had to rush things throughout their show. I don't know if Lucha Underground will be back on the El Rey Network, or if the El Rey Network wants to put more money in them. Okay? I still didn't think it made sense when they put the belt on Jack Swagger, and I guess Wade Barrett being the higher power right now. But like I said, I feel like Lucha Underground had to rush a lot of things, and Ultima Lucha Quattro really could have been better, though. It looked like they had good matches going on, but it was just a lot of finishes and stuff what I felt was the problem, what was going on there. Like I said, it was a lot of rushing going on, and a lot of people didn't come back. They really didn't. So I don't know if Lucha Underground will be back for another season. I really don't. Well, we will see. But like I said, the NWA, I know Billy Corgan has a 20-year plan in this. I don't know if this will work in that. I honestly don't know. Like, they've done a couple things, and I've seen him I saw him at the All In press conference, Billy Corgan. So we'll see more what happens with the NWA right now. I know they've been putting a lot of pop-up shows, and they've still been having the title on the line. And you gotta give them the 7 pounds of gold thing, okay? You gotta give them that. The whole thing on YouTube has been really great in the series they've been putting out with, the whole digital thing going out. And at least it has people paying attention to the NWA Championship. And I know people are gonna say, how many people really cared about the NWA that long? Listen, the NWA, I didn't know the NWA title still been defended this long, okay? The last time I really even knew about the NWA title was when Impact had first started back in '02, okay? And they had that title for a minute. But as for the NWA Championship just being defended on multiple shows all around the world, I couldn't believe who's been champion that many times until Billy Corgan bought it. And, we've seen more of the NWA title, but when they brought it back, who had it first? Tim Stormer was like a 50-year-old high school teacher. And then it went to Nick Aldis and Cody and... like I said, Aldis just been defending the title ever. I think James Storm is his next opponent. So we'll see what happens more when the NWA, come up with that. One big thing out of wrestling this year was All In, okay? And I should say I don't know if it's gonna be an All In 2 next year. I don't know. We'll see if it is an All In 2. But if it is an All In 2, I hope it is. I don't think it's gonna be in Chicago again. But I guess I should say. Well, according to Cody Rhodes, it'll be a second one. But if this was the only one, or if we keep doing this again, I'm proud to say I was at the first one. Okay, I had a fun time. I loved it. I went to the press conference back in May. Like I said, it's an advantage for me in Chicago because it didn't take me that long to go see this press conference when they were doing this whole 10,000 seat arena. The fact that they sold it out in under 30 minutes, over 10,000 people, I was lucky enough to get my damn ticket out there for I think it was like 20 something I paid for, and I had some really great seats in the lower bowl, and I had a fun time there. Okay, like I said, when I went to the press conference today, it was that big. Like, come on, the Bucks, Hangman, Marty, Cody being there, Tessa Blanchard being there, Flip Gordon showing up. I got a picture with him and Nick Jackson, Billy Corgan being there. Like I said, they were in town for a Ring of Honor. I think it was on their World of Worlds thing going on. I remember it was like NJPW and talent and Ring of Honor talent, but they did do the press conference that day back in May, and it was fun. It was fun. There was many announcements throughout the coming months in the All In until it take into fruition and everything. So All In was very great. Like, it was a great show. I'm not saying it was the pay-per-view of the year, but the fact that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks was able to sell out a 10,000 seat arena on their own is something big. Because it's like people say, they did it without Vince, okay? They did it without the WWE. They proved they could do something big. They proved to the world that, they could do this on their own. Nobody didn't think they could do it, but like I said, the fact that they sold it out in under 30 minutes is amazing to me, okay? And yeah, it took me a minute. I don't say it is in Chicago, okay? Now, Pro Wrestling Tees is in Chicago. Let me make that clear. But Hoffman Estates is not in Chicago, okay? I had to travel some trains and stuff. I didn't go to Starrcade and everything, but Hoffman Estates is not in Chicago, Illinois. Now, if you did this in the United Center, that'd be right next door to me. Allstate Arena, I know it's Rosemont, but come on, I had to travel to Rosemont to get in to begin with, just to even get to Hoffman Estates. I had to Uber all my way over there, but All In was great, okay? I saw a lot of people there. It was still a great card. I saw matches from Kenny Omega and Pentagon Jr., Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship, the Golden Elite, I know they had to rush time, but the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi versus Rey Mysterio, Bandito, and Phoenix was very great in the main event. Hangman Page versus Joey Janela. It was my first time even seeing Joey Janela wrestle. It was the first time me seeing a lot of these guys wrestle before. Which was, like I said, a great street fight, and the whole Druids with Joey Ryan with the dick thing. Okada versus Marty Scurll was a very great match, which in a way I was surprised, but you can't really be surprised. It's Okada, okay? He's one of the best in the world. And like I said, the reaction when Okada came out there was one of the biggest pops ever, okay? Like, I knew Okada was over. I didn't think Okada was this over. Like, seeing Okada live is just something very different, okay? It's just something you gotta feel for some reason. Even when Cody Rhodes came out there with that NWA title match, like, the building shook when that man came out, okay? And you saw a lot of people from the whole over-the-top budget battle royale, Flip Gordon versus Jay Lethal, which you actually got to see Black Machismo again this year for the Ring of Honor Championship. I know people still think CM Punk and, Daniel Bryan were going to show up, but I don't think it was going to happen. I know CM Punk was there anyway. Well, he was not there, but he was there for the signing this weekend. But I got to go to All In. Come on, even people after All In, I saw people out there. Like, people, come on, the wrestlers out there. Dude, I was going to the fucking bathroom. Rich Swann was right there. Like, I say, that's Rich Swann. I'm just going to the bathroom. I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to get a photo with Rich Swann. And, for Swann was cool. I think he was there for an event anyways. I know he wasn't on the All In card, but he was there at an event in Illinois. I don't know what show it was for, but I know he was there around that. I got to meet Simon from What Culture. Like I said, I had met some people. There was some people I wish I still could have met out there that were hanging out and everything, but I got to meet some people. I really did. Hello. Yeah, but it's a lot of matches you can name, and not All In. I'll get back to All. Sorry about All In. I got a phone call right there. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, but like I said, All In though, like I said, All In was a big thing. It was a spectacle though, but I got to meet people that like I said, I didn't really think I was gonna meet these people. I was walking out the building. It was a tough time to get there. It was like I said, it was a solo job for me, but I had a fun time though. Okay, it was a great time at that show. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be another thing, and they should have did this in the United Center. You could have sold even more. They probably would go to another state or country maybe if they ever do another All In too. I would love it if they come back to Chicago though. I would love it if they would come back, because it was great. It was fun. I had a fun day that day. A fun night too. Like, it was a bit of a travel, but come on, people traveled the world to come see this. And when you count Starrcade, that was like a 4-day thing, especially during I think it was Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend. It was throughout all that. So it was like a 3-4 day weekend. And like I said, when you count Starrcade, people traveled the world to come to this. Like, I saw people from Germany, Mexico, Japan, states like Houston, Canada. There were many people that traveled very far and wide to come see this. New York City, just everywhere to see this show. Okay, so it was a big thing that Bullet Club or just Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks to put on. Okay, that they got many people to come to Starrcade. Legends, current stars, like a lot of wrestlers were there throughout the entire weekend. Okay, they were. Even Pro Wrestling Tees still had a lot going on that weekend too. Come on, Okada was in the store the next day on Sunday, and Okada's tickets sold out in like minutes or seconds. Same with CM Punk. They sold out in like seconds to minutes to pull this whole thing off. Come on, Chris Jericho showed up at All In, and I didn't expect that. He was just there to promote his cruise, but Chris Jericho even showed up, and that I was surprised to see that Jericho just showing up on this thing. But there was just a lot of great talent, and maybe there's some matches I'm forgetting and stuff. I'm trying to go through all of them, but from Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell, which was a really good match. Jordan Grace picking up Brian Cage and everything, which I'm looking for more seeing her. Like, I'm seeing more of her. I haven't seen a lot from her out this year, but other than that, and being at Impact right now, I see bright things for that girl. I really do. What else though? I'm trying to see if there's anything else from All In. I may have to post a review just so you guys see. I'll put in the description just you want to check out my All In review and stuff. But like I said, All In was just a big thing. Say it was the largest independent wrestling show that has ever been done. Over 10,000 people strong, a packed house. I can tell you, I was live there. I was in person. It was just like I said. It was a fun day. It was a fun night, and if they ever do it again, I just, I hope they do. I hope they make it a little bit easier to travel though, because it was not easy getting home. I'm not paying $100 for no goddamn Uber. Okay, I'm not doing that. Like I said, people around the world came to this thing. They did at the rate of freaking prime time, like David buses across the street, because that's the only way everybody was getting some internet access, just so they can get out of there after after the show and everything. So All In, that was one of the biggest things in wrestling for the year also. But as I go on and stuff, what else I have to name? What from WWE? What you can name from there? Evolution, the women. Despite my thoughts on that whole women's pay-per-view, I still thought the only really great matches you had was the, which is still a big thing. I know they didn't sell out the building, but from the Becky and Charlotte match, and the Mae Young Classic match, and the NXT Women's Title match, those were the top three things going on. Okay, now I'm really trying to find good than bad out of WWE when you think about it, because there is good. Okay, there's a lot of good when you count with WWE going on. From what would you say that has been good? Come on now. Number one, let's see, Becky, which some say is the women's wrestler of the year, and then you can't really argue about that, because when you look at the women in WWE, with Becky, like I said, Becky didn't really get Raw like really that hot on fire until SummerSlam in August, when her heel turn happened. People just went insane for her, and they call her the new Stone Cold, and she has the championship right now. Will she go on to fight Ronda at Mania? Maybe. Do I think it's going to be the main event of WrestleMania? That's debatable. It's going to be some triple threat with Charlotte, maybe. But this has been Becky's year. And would you say she's the women's wrestler of the year? Yes, because it's not like she's at the top, all right? Because I'm trying to look it through the whole, not just WWE, but just throughout all the wrestling of what other woman has had that great of a year as Becky. The whole, like Charlotte, you put her up there too. Tessa Blanchard, that's another top one. Okay, like I said, Ronda Rousey, yes, gotta give it to Ronda Rousey too. For a person in her debut first year in wrestling, she's done good. She's done really good. Yes, there's been some cracks here and there throughout time, but Ronda Rousey has had a very good year. Okay, like I said, and this is like her rookie year, and she's just killing it right now. And I do believe some people believe they put the title on her too early. Yeah, but come on, would you rather have Bliss as the champion right now? And stuff. So I would say Ronda Rousey, she's had a really good year. Okay, she really has. I'm trying to see what else could you name that's been good in WWE. Like, I'm really trying to get more good than bad, because I'm trying to do like I'm doing the best that people have had throughout the year in wrestling, but like I said, it is bad and good throughout this. But like I said, stuff that's also been really, like I said, really good in WWE. Like I said, Seth Rollins, what I feel like has been the single only champion on there with that Intercontinental title. He's had a really good year this year. Like, he's pretty much been the main guy on Monday Night Raw. He really has. I've been carrying it, because it's not like the Universal title is really there that much right now. SmackDown, I would say, has gotten better throughout time. AJ Styles, he still had a really good year. I do believe some of the matches he's had some really good matches. Don't get me wrong. But what is the breakout match he's had throughout the entire year that has made him that big, which you would put a match of the year category? Because it's not like it's not because of the opponents they put him against. It's just the booking they've had him has just been pretty bad, like from the Nakamura one and Samoa Joe, which could have been better, but they came with that whole card fuse just screen mid-card to me. It really has. But there has been really good matches in WWE, from really good things, from Daniel Bryan making his big return to wrestling and actually winning the championship this year, turning heel, which has been really great, and putting on a very great match with Brock Lesnar back at Survivor Series. Listen, when he first came back, it was a monumental thing. I still do believe, like I said months ago, the reason why they brought him back, because they were not selling out WrestleMania, and we all knew this guy could go. It's just WWE doctors did not want to risk it and let him go, because he would become a liability. But when his contract was coming up, I think they decided, let's just give whatever this guy he wants and let him back in the ring. But him just making his big return after being on the shelf for like 3-4 years, just coming back was a huge moment. And for WrestleMania, for him coming back. But yeah, like I said, I still believe about the comments I just said a couple seconds ago. So the reason why I did believe they brought Brian back, but he did win the championship back in November, and we didn't. I don't really think he was going to turn heel, but he really had his whole face thing was not good though. When you think about it, look at the opponents they gave him. It's not his fault. I just feel it was the opponents they gave him. Cass sucked. Okay, the whole Cass thing was bad. Like Cass couldn't really have a good match with Daniel Bryan. He really couldn't, and I don't know. Cass just thought he was the man, and we know the reason why he's gone. But the Miz matches were pretty good too. But even I was wondering how long they were going to keep that going on. Who else? I'm trying to see. Has had a pretty good year when you think about it. We saw a lot of first ever matches. I can tell you that. Especially there's been a lot of first ever. The whole Women's Royal Rumble. We got to see that. Like I said a few minutes ago, the Evolution pay-per-view, the first ever women's TLC match. A lot of this has been the main event, so I'm just kind of putting on that from there. What else was pretty good? I'm really trying to get all the good. No, I really am. I don't know why I'm kind of a brain fart right here. I'm trying to put a list up for this to see what else I can count, but. Like I said, and I had a conversation with my friend about this. It's more bad you can name from WWE than you can name good. It really is. Like, I've named some top things, don't get me wrong, but WWE, I'm not, I'm trying, like I tried to separate NXT as a difference from them, as their own thing, even though I know it's part of the same company, but WWE just in general really did screw up a lot of things. But it is another good thing. I can get on the good before I move into the bad, unless I can find some more good things. I would say the revitalization of 205 Live. Listen, I don't really watch a lot of 205 Live, and I try to, but they have gotten better throughout time. And it all started pretty much when Enzo was fired. I still think he was fired on some bullshit and everything because of the whole allegations, which he did beat the case, and that's good, and I did enjoy his thing back at Survivor Series. So you want to hate on me for that, whatever, but I still thought what he did, people did care about him, and I will say he's making a lot of moves out here. Say what you want about Enzo, but he beat the case. He was never charged. Argue me if you want to, and he didn't do it. So, but I still think they could have given him his job back, but I think Enzo just had too much heat. Why they wouldn't hire him back anyways, because the heat he had. But with him being gone from the company, Vince McMahon didn't have no more control of the cruiserweights, and once Triple H took over, the cruiserweights had gotten better in time. And come on, we have Mustafa Ali on the main roster right now. I do believe that's because of Daniel Bryan, because like I say, he's got creative control, but they're really doing something big with Mustafa Ali going on right now, and it has been better stuff with the cruiserweights from Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, Mustafa Ali, just a couple names here and there, Leo Rush, a lot of names to put out there. But like I said, with the revitalization of 205 Live going on, like I said, it's just been a lot of bad than I could count good from WWE. It really is. Let's see, they screwed up the Raw 25 thing. That was not really that good of a show. The only thing that was really biggest thing on the Raw 25 show was Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out and stunning the McMahons, Vince and Shane, which I don't care what you say, you cannot beat Austin's pop. To this day, when that glass shatters and you hear Stone Cold's music, the crowd will go insane. That is a mega pop, and you can never stop that mega pop. I wish SmackDown 1000, come on, SmackDown 1000 could have been better too, and we had that this year. I'll give Raw and SmackDown one thing. You had Raw 25 and you had SmackDown 1000, so it is a milestone, no. I still think SmackDown could have had more people on there though. I really think it could have brought more people back, but it was cool to see Evolution. It was cool to see Batista on that show. Rey Mysterio, Edge, others. I wish they could have just brought more. They really could have done more SmackDown. Raw, you saw a lot of people. Like I said, Raw 25 was still not good, and you saw stuff like that. What they did at the old, what was it, the Hammerstein ball? Not Hammerstein, but the was it Hammerstein or the Manhattan Center, I believe. And just people got cheated out of their money, and you only brought like DX and the Click and Undertaker and stuff out there, and people had to sit and watch Raw on the screen. You got two bullshit matches that people wanted refunds, and Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler was asleep. But like I said, there's a lot of bad from that to the Roman push. And, you know, I'm really trying to separate this from the whole Roman Reigns leukemia thing, that was a bad thing, and it's unfortunate what happened. And, you know, hopefully Roman Reigns does beat this again. I've already said this before. I hope the guy beats it again, and I hope he makes it back soon. But you know, just kind of separating that from the push. When you look at why Monday Night Raw is so bad, like that's one thing. One thing you can say bad about WWE this year is Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw has been bad many other years too. I can go back from 2016 to 2015, but this was a bad year for Monday Night Raw. Raw sucked. Raw was horrible. The ratings continue to suck. The ratings have really continued to suck in the past 3-4 weeks now. But here's the problem where they screwed up on too. They put all their chips in the Roman. I've said this before, and it's almost like they're scrambling to get a top star right now. Okay, because yes, you dragged Roman along the longest and even getting his title from Brock, because come on, people are already sick of Brock and Roman to begin with. Come on, we had to go to WrestleMania 34, and then what else, the whole Saudi Arabia, which we'll get into that in a second, Saudi Arabia until SummerSlam. Even my neighbor was like, are they going to make Roman to the ultimate chaser? How long is he going to have to chase this fucking title belt for? Forever? Is he? And then I feel like the only way they were going to cheer him was just reform the Shield. Reform the Shield. That was the solution. That's the only way they're going to get him to cheer, is reform the Shield and stuff. And I know some people say they messed up Ambrose's return and everything, and even messed up Braun Strowman because he was a big face at first. But the problem else to what I'm trying... give me a second. But like I said, how they messed up Braun Strowman's, I would say, pushing away. First off, they wasted Money in the Bank. What Money in the Bank was a waste. I'm glad I did not go to that show now. Money in the Bank was a waste. They wasted the Money in the Bank at a Hell in a Cell match. I've never seen a Hell in a Cell match end on a DQ, which still makes no sense to me because Brock German suplex and kills everybody. That the match is over. Never seen that before. Why was Mick Foley the referee? Mick Foley couldn't count right half the time. I felt like both men took a rest once the Shield and Ziggler and McIntyre came out and attacked, and that went on for several minutes, and that didn't make a lot of sense right there. Braun Strowman, like I said before, WrestleMania sucked. Your co-main event was Braun Strowman and a 10-year-old beating the tag team champions. The Raw tag team division sucks. They really buried that tag team throughout the entire year, okay? I can't really say anything good about the tag division. Who wouldn't that ever have the titles in that? Maybe Ziggler and McIntyre are going somewhere with it, but just the titles in general, they buried those belts. They really did. No one cared about the tag division. I didn't even care when Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were the tag team champions, because Bray Wyatt, I just think he was just unsalvageable at this point, which Matt Hardy did try to save, so he did try. I will give him that. Was the Ultimate Deletion this year? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. I think, but I'm not really sure. But like I said, Mania was not good. AJ Nakamura, whoever thought they could recreate Wrestle Kingdom, was not happening. Okay? And all they did with Nakamura was just, nutshot everybody. And then they done nothing when they put the U.S. title on him. Nothing. They derailed Rusev Day when Rusev was hot, which they should have done him while he was hot and go with it. But hey, WWE hates it when you get over on your own. They derailed Asuka, which Asuka was going big at first. But the problem with the thing, listen, Asuka won the Rumble. That was big. I still believe that they overshadowed and took her moment when they had Ronda Rousey just go out there and point, which they just stole Asuka's thunder. I don't care what anybody says. They stole her thunder doing that. Like, let this girl have her moment. And then when she lost to Charlotte at Mania, she was not the same after that. She really wasn't. And Asuka was not the same. And come on, look what they did. You put her against Carmella and have James Ellsworth come back. And that's a whole different story for a different day with him, with the stuff that's going on with him right now. But you fed Asuka to Carmella and James Ellsworth, and then you just got rid of Ellsworth after you killed Asuka, and then Asuka was just a shell of her former self until what now? Which, I'm not, like I said, Asuka, the whole thing with Asuka, they met. WWE was gonna screw this up one way or another. But then again, WWE just screws up all the NXT talent they get on there, okay? And once Vince kind of said the reaction she got, now you're pushing actually have the title on her again. So, at least you did something with Asuka then. But, what else has been pretty bad? I could go with a misuse of a lot of people, but just a misuse of multiple people in that company right now, which they have either buried or just killed at this point. The Revival, they continue to kill them. Sasha and Bayley, dude, how many times are you going to see them go against the freaking Riot Squad and insert third woman? Which that does happen on Raw tonight, by the way, too. So let me not, don't get me started on that. But, you killed them. What else has been pretty bad? Oh, dude, like I said, it's a misuse of a lot of people. Rusev Day, Nakamura, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles being the WWE champion, but cannot main event one. He couldn't main event one pay-per-view, and the Universal title wasn't even there half the time. But you just wouldn't let him main event any pay-per-view. You wouldn't give the WWE title one main event. Nothing. And he held it for a year. He held it for over a year, and you didn't give him one main event. Dude, the WWE title was mid-card. Okay, they made the WWE title to a mid-card belt. They really did. And look at the feuds AJ was in. The one with Samoa Joe screamed mid-card. Okay, I'm sorry. It screamed mid-card with the whole stalking his family thing. Nakamura, you just ruined that whole thing a long time ago, and I still hope that guy goes back to New Japan. Jesus Christ, what else? Putting the belt on Bliss again multiple times is bad. Nia Jax in general just sucks, and the whole punch Becky in the face and hurting people, and just Backlash was probably one of the worst pay-per-views WWE had all year. I've never seen a no DQ match end with people. A no DQ match ends with both guys kicking each other in the nuts between AJ and Nakamura. What sense does that make? Crowd leaving out of Backlash with Roman and Joe. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Yes, the blood money. That's that blood money. 2 times we go to. We go there for that Greatest Royal Rumble thing and the Titus spot, and then we go back and do it again when one guy, journalist, allegedly was killed that was blamed on Saudi Arabia. But hey, let's go do it anyway. WWE's got to get that money. Lot of money. Blood money. And what you think, this is a good thing too, but this is a good and bad part I'm about to bring up one way too. Number one, good, we got to see Shawn Michaels wrestle for the first time in 8.5 years to reform DX, going against the Brothers of Destruction and stuff, which we had a lot of these international shows from Australia and Saudi Arabia and others, which I just feel like it was WrestleMania comes 2-3 times a year because of the way they sell out these giant stadiums around the world and stuff. But it was cool we got to see Shawn Michaels come back. I wish they would have made it a bigger deal like they did Daniel Bryan, because come on, Shawn has been wrestled in 8.5 years. I'm not used to bald HBK, but the fact that he is coming back again and even wrestling in general, it just tells you it's big. They just should have done enough more with that. But the way the Saudi Arabia shows they've done to killing Braun Strowman in 2 minutes, pretty much getting him buried by Brock Lesnar like it was nothing after Roman got sick. Multiple injuries with people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who were misused and pretty much murdered by Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley in general, they messed up, okay? I wish he would have stayed in Impact. I really wish he did. This whole thing with Lio Rush thing, I don't even know. The sisters thing was bad. The feud with like I said, the whole sister thing and feud with Sami Zayn was bad. This whole Lex Luger, Chris Masters thing, I just don't get. The camera being shoved into his ass, I just don't understand. It's just bad, okay? It's really bad with him. I don't know. And I like Bobby Lashley, but the way they've done that guy, you fed him to Roman. You should have just did the money match with him and Brock, but nope. Feed him to Roman so Roman can get a shot at SummerSlam, I think it was. He was going to get the shot in that Bobby Lashley. What else? Drew McIntyre had a really good year. And I see big things for Drew McIntyre. I still think he may beat Brock for the title, because who else? But who else do you really have that can beat Brock for the title? I would say Seth Rollins in a way, if they will do that. But if I had to count, like I said, you look at all these other wrestling promotions, they've had a hell of a year. I just look at the main roster for WWE. It just hasn't really been that good, other than some of the good things I named like minutes ago, like Becky and stuff, okay? Because, like I said, Becky, she's like the female wrestler of the year, really. And it's debatable, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to say it's not debatable because who's on her level. And if you want to go for wrestler of the year, I give that to fucking Kenny Omega right now. Okay, I give it to Kenny Omega. I know they say it was the number one, the top PWI 500 and stuff, but he is number one. Okay, I gotta say, the guy is just freaking number one right now. Especially after he won the title, and he does deserve it. But as in of WWE, dude, like I said, I swear to God, I just named more bad than good. Yeah, they got the Fox TV deal money, the whole $1 billion thing, and they'll beat SmackDown will be on Fox by next year, which they want a lot of changes too. But WWE just, like I said, from misuse of talent to, I do believe they signed way too many freaking guys. Like, by God, just look who they get almost. Dude, they got the top stars like in any other company anywhere. Matt Riddle, Keith Lee. Dude, we don't even know if they're even going to get the Elite or not, but they would not know what to do with them. But it's like I said before, you get these guys on NXT and everything, and they're good. But then when you put them on the main roster, you just misuse to bury multiple of these guys. And I've already know I put on some names on there already. And I'm sure there's many more names you could put out to me of who they messed up this year, like Finn Balor or, well, like I said, Revival, the tag team division in general, the Raw's women division, other than a handful of people, the way they push Bliss or Nia Jax. One thing I will say that was another thing that was bad was about, one thing I will say that was bad, and this has to do with Evolution, was putting the Bellas in a program with Ronda Rousey. And the funny thing is this, when we were first hearing about these matches for Evolution, who was really, no wonder they didn't sell out tickets or sell out the building. You know why? When you name matches like Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss or Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, does that really urge you to go out and buy some tickets or watch this show? It's almost like WWE was telling you to turn away from this. And I don't care what anybody says about this, that shouldn't have been the main event, okay? Charlotte and Becky killed it, and that was never gonna, that was the hardest thing. You were not going to follow that and think that was going to be good. And I've said this before, like I said in many reviews, when you go against the Bellas. Number one, botched Bella there, Brie, who has damn near killed half of the women ever since they brought her back. Kicked Liv Morgan's head off nearly, her face in. Zelina Vega nearly hurt. Multiple botches in the ring. You hit Ruby Riott, which she had to literally punch her back. So Brie Bella, you just need to keep her away from the ring. And by God, she was on both shows too, with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown and on Raw. It was just bad, okay? And just put Nikki Bella against Ronda Rousey in the main event was just laughable, okay? It was laughable. And you can defend the Bellas whatever you want, but like I said before, the reason why they probably had them on there was to put this on some total divas or total Bellas crap. If you're a Bella fan, I don't give a fuck. The Bellas suck. They've been sucked. They suck. They just suck, okay? They never was be, never gonna be, never it was be, okay? Alright? They suck. They set the division 10 years back. It's just funny when I hear the announcers and them say the Bellas are icons, legends. Legends at what? Tell me what they're legends at. Please. Please debate me. I said this months ago. I'm still waiting for someone to debate me on this. I want you to. I dare you to. Debate me on that. You can't win. You won't win, and you never will win. The Bellas suck. There you go. But, like I said, it's more bad than I can name good with WWE. And maybe I am missing some things right now. I probably am. And there's many things I could just go off on, like what? Baron Corbin? General Manager? What else? I already talked about the ratings and probably one of the worst Raw. There's many worst Raw years, by the way. But multiple injuries, people not being there, don't know what to do with a lot of people. SmackDown's at least been decent, okay? SmackDown's had its up and downs too, but SmackDown has been somewhat decent to good half the time. I will say that. But Like I said, I tried to separate and balance this out from bad and good, but when you look at the numbers, and I've already said this multiple times, there's more bad than you can count good in WWE. And I'm just talking about main roster right now, and maybe some other stuff too. But it's just bad. Like, come on, what do you want me to say here? Like, say they had a really great year? They didn't. I'm sure Raw sucked again when I get to the Raw review, and I'm sure, well, I don't care what holiday it is and that. It sucked. I know it did. And I wouldn't be surprised if they sucked in the new year too. Listen, that's why I don't get my high hopes on them half the time. I know some people want them to. I would like it too, but dude, it's just like when they're gonna do something bad. When they're gonna suck. When something's really gonna turn out very, very badly, and it's that easy to really call. So their shit's just bad. So yeah, but like I said, I think that's all I can really name from WWE right now. If you want to put something out for me that was either good or bad, please enlighten me, and please do. If you want to put it out there, just come on, because I've already talked about my bullet points and just multiple people. I'm probably missing some people right now to say who they've misused. What, Almas? That's another one. It's just a lot, but like I said, if you want to name some good and bad, please do. But my numbers right now, and I even have a list for this, it's more bad than good. But like I said, it's anything else than wrestling, which you said they've had in the year too. And I know it's been some losses we've had also. I should say the loss of some people like Vader or Jim Neidhart, Grandmaster Sexay. Which was from my era, so I was actually kind of sad about that when I heard what happened. I'm trying to see who else died. I know it was some names. I'm sorry if I don't remember them all. I probably should have had them in front of me and stuff to go on from that. Dynamite Kid. Larry the Axe Hennig. Jesus. Mr. Saito. I think Bad News Brown. Was it Nikolai Volkov or I think it was, if I'm not correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to disrespect anyone getting the name wrong. But please correct me if I do have that wrong on that. But there was some losses, I would say, in the world of professional wrestling in life. I would say, Trevor Lee's dad. Jerry Cardwell, like that was another one on it also. Bruno Sammartino, Bruno Sammartino. That was a big name that was lost right there. Sammartino. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Yeah. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Like that guy fought to the end though. I'm really trying to remember some names. I'm really trying. I'm trying to think this one through. I don't have a list in front of me, and I don't want to hit the wrong button. I don't want to crash my computer or nothing. But like I said, there were like I said, some losses. Maybe there's some I'm forgetting on that. Like I may have missed a few. I'm not really sure, but like I said, please correct me if I do get some wrong. But yeah, it's been some losses in the world of professional wrestling. I'm just kind of checking my phone right here. I'm just trying to multitask right now, so bear with me and stuff. And it wasn't a lot, but maybe it's more I'm missing. But I just wanted to kind of step on that for a second. But I'm just getting this whole year review. Like I said, it's been a lot of really big things in wrestling this year. Like I said, I know some people, and I had a conversation with my friend, and some people think I hate on WWE too much. But like I said, WWE just shouldn't have so much garbage going on. I wouldn't have to hate on them all the time, which is bad. But just to give this year in review of wrestling, I would give it an A though. It was a lot of good going on from multiple companies, like I said. A lot of good things, okay? Like I said, from, you know, New Japan, NXT, Impact, NWA in a way, even MLW, All In being a big thing. The independent scene being hotter than ever right now. I know it's been some bad injuries with some people, and hopefully we see them back soon enough, and they will be back in the company, and whatever company they're in, we'll hopefully see them back in. I know some people coming back, like Owen, Zayn. Hopefully Takahashi makes it back. Time Bomb. Don't know the status of Roman right now, but we'll see. It's a lot of people are hurt or injured right now, but hopefully we see those guys back. But like I said, from companies to events to anything that's going on. WWE, Impact, New Japan, Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, MLW, NWA, or any other type promotion, Impact, all of those things. NXT. It's been a lot of good wrestling this year. But if I had to name the MVPs of who have been killing it as in company wise, and like I said, I know NXT is part of WWE, but between NXT and New Japan, they have killed it this entire year. They have been putting a barn burner with the matches they put on, okay? And I've already named them earlier in the video. You can go look those up if you want to, but they have really proved themselves. They have killed it this year, and you can't really doubt what the shows they have, and stuff they have put on, okay? So, hopefully we will see more great wrestling in the next year or wherever you celebrate or anything. But like I said, it's a different day for me when this goes on and stuff. But I wanted to name the highlights. I wanted to name the lowlights. It's been big. It's been good. It's been bad. It's had its roller coaster. You saw some returns. You saw some injuries. You saw a lot of big things happen. You saw stuff that sucked. You saw stuff that was good. Hopefully a lot of things can get on track the next time we go on with this. But like I said, it's going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be a lot of big things going on in wrestling soon. Come on, if I were you, you better be watching out for that All Elite Wrestling, folks. It's been rumored for the past few weeks now, so that may be a big thing coming up. So watch out for that. But like I said, hope you have a happy New Year out there. Whatever you celebrate, have a great holiday. Think of this as a late Christmas present, what I'm putting on with this year in review for wrestling, okay? Think of this as a late Christmas present. So, I am out of here. The Raw review will be up soon, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But I'm probably going to go be doing something else right now. But, like I said, I am out of here. I will see you later. Peace out, and I hope you enjoyed my review for wrestling in 2018. Comment, subscribe, Master Bryce 890, at Hooded Knight 890 on Twitter, all of that. Check out any videos, reviews, and maybe I'll post up some other reviews in the description of some of the top ones, which I think have been done in the past year with these events I've been talking about. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.